Yay, area!
Like that? Tell them people that Devin Haney is back.
Yay, area!
Like that? Tell them people that Devin Haney is back. Woo!
Let's go!
Yeah.
Undisputed!
Let's get it. Let's get
Round
it.
2.
Who we got?
So, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Boxing. I'm your girl, Leti.
I'm LB.
And we had the magnificent pound for pound.
There you go.
Undisputed.
Say it again. Mm-hmm.
Undisputed.
Yep.
Devin the Dream Haney out of Oakland, California.
Oakland smoke.
Hey, versus George Kambosos out of Australia.
Yeah.
So, guys, it was a round 2. It was a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Our boy Devin,
Cali brother.
defending all his titles pretty much.
Yep.
Like I said, it was a round 2, and I don't even know what's out. Well, go ahead, start us off.
Yeah. So coming into this fight, coming into this fight, Devin, he made it very clear, like, that he's actually going to be, more offensive this fight. And, leading up into the fight, we saw a different George Kambosos. The Emperor looked like he left the building for this fight. He had that persona, the trench coats, and, he had his little, he was talking his talk, but this time, the whole build up, he was completely, he's pretty much just quiet and reserved.
More in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta give it to him for that, because even he said he had lost sight of what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
He was just more focusing on, I got a rematch clause. So whatever happens, I can still, try to get my rematch on that.
Yeah, and
wrong, and I don't like that. I don't like when everybody goes
like
and thinking like that.
But yeah, and so in one of the press conferences, it was funny. They had a funny interaction because he was pretty much saying, like, when he had the belts, it was a lot. He goes, yeah, it was a lot for me, or pretty much like, the belts comes with a lot. And Devin was like, yeah, just admit it was too much for you. Oh. It was too much for you. And I was like, oh, I'm loving that. And you could tell, like, kind of the build up, like Bill and if you guys didn't know, Bill is our guy. He is our guy. Bill's he's one of our favorite father trainers. But yeah, they were trying to get Kambosos to try to get under his skin, try to get him to fight a little bit, and the fight, I will say this time, a lot more action, and they were fighting.
Yes, they sure was. But I gotta say real quick on the press conference when they had it like face off. I gotta say we didn't get a chance to do the little quick recap on that, but I was telling him, hey, low-key, that was a daddy-to-daddy face-off. That wasn't really a George Kambosos and Devin Haney. It was a daddy-to-daddy face-off. That was fun to watch. Yeah,
definitely fun to watch. But yeah, it was another dominating performance from Devin the Dream Haney, and to show how special of a fighter he was. He just like the first time they fought, he dominated him. He dominated him in a completely different way this time. He gave the people exactly what they wanted to see. A lot of people after the first fight were asking, like, hey, that was cool, you just beat him with the jab, but we wanted a lot more right hands. And what did he do this?
He messed him up. He was using everything, punishing Kambosos, Kambosos, even though, let's start with the first round. We knew already that Kambosos was going to come in fighting different than the first fight.
And he did.
Devin Haney knew that as well. So Devin was ready for whatever he brought. First rounds, Kambosos did come in. We were like, okay, he's fighting different than the first round. He started switching stance as well, where we were kind of threw us off a little bit. Okay, what's going on with that? So the first few rounds, it was kind of like, okay, what's going to happen? I think they were just trying to fill each other out, but it definitely looked like Kambosos was pressuring a little bit more.
Yeah.
Fast forward the first few rounds, it just flipped past the first rounds, and it started looking like, again, the fight before. Again, domination by Haney, not just by the jab.
To kind of go off of that, like, just to start from the beginning, he was, he did come in and he was trying to, be a little awkward when he was switching stances. And it did take, in the beginning, it took a little bit of time, just a little bit of time for Devin Haney to figure him out and making adjustments. And then I think around the third, in the third round, as soon as Kambosos switched, he landed a a 1-2, bow, hit him, and then after that, and then pretty much, from that moment, he started switching a lot less. And I was telling her, I was like, look, now he's starting to look like the Kambosos of the last fight, where he was kind of looking defeated and confused, because Haney at that point, he was landing right hands like a lot of people wanted to see before, and it was like. And then he got to a point where he was just pop shotting with the right hand, and the lead right hand and footwork, and I was like, man, you know what? It just shows how well rounded of a fighter he could beat you so many different ways. Exactly. And it definitely took a toll on George Kambosos.
It did. I was like, damn, Devin using that right hand like his jab. Punching, just keeping Kambosos out, and Kambosos had nothing for Devin. Like, he couldn't, make the adjustments to get the win.
Yeah.
Devin this time around, honestly, I felt like he could have probably stopped or even dropped Kambosos had he gone to the body a little bit more. Yeah. But he was getting his win how he was getting his win,
Yeah, and there was even times in the fight where I was like, oh, he's about to stop him, like probably like in the 10th round or something, because it looked like he was ready to go. Also another point in the fight too, Kambosos, he did come alive later in the fight after he landed a good shot. It sounded like it kind of roused him up.
Like,
but
he started talking shit too.
But
I see that cut in your eye or something like that.
Yeah, but even though he landed, Devin Haney still dominated the fight. But George, he did land some good shots.
Yeah, and clear domination. Yeah. He brought the belts back, to back to the town, and that it was just really fun. Yeah. Whatever you call that, where you wash your hands off, done with those fights, and next, because again, that was a clear domination by him. So, I'm just so excited for him. And they better, like they said, this time around, they put some damn respect on that boy's name.
Pound for pound, man.
Please, because I don't care what y'all say, he is pound for pound. Y'all tripping if you say he's not pound for pound.
You know what I mean? Like I said, like, he gave us a completely different fight, but it was still a domination against a guy who beat Teofimo Lopez and took the belts from him, who previously got those from Lomachenko. So, it was just a great pound for pound performance. People were asking for the right hand. Not only did he give us the right hand in this fight throughout the fight, but he also was giving us the left hook as well.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was an entertaining fight, and that's why he is the people's champ to me.
Yeah, and what better way to go like that? Okay, you use your jab, which is a fundamental. Everybody should have an amazing jab if you're boxing. He beat him that way. Second round, he beat him a whole different way, unanimously. I'm just so happy, so proud of him for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And the youngest to do it, undisputed.
Yeah, and he's only this is the other thing that people need to realize. That man is 23 years old.
That's it.
Any other 23-year-old, around the age, they looked at as a prospect. But this man is undisputed.
Yep.
This man is undisputed, unblemished. Man, what else can you say? That's pound for pound. It's pound
Put
for
some
pound.
respect on his name.
For real.
Yeah, so,
but
so this whoop-de-whoop, no dispute on this fight. He clearly won.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what's going to happen. What do you think? You think he's going to go up to 140? You think he's going to stay at 135 to fight Loma?
You know what? It all kind of depends. If you guys kind of saw the weigh-in, there's been a lot of talk about, how Devin Haney looked at the weigh-in. And, a lot of people saw he sucked, looked really sucked in and looked drained. He did come out and perform well against George Kambosos. And that's kind of what he was talking about in the post-fight. He's like, a lot of people said I was struggling to make the weight, but look how I performed. If he really did make the weight well, I guess only him or Bill would really, truly know, how the weight really really went.
Yeah.
I just feel like this, if it really was, really tough and hard, because these, weight cuts could really be dangerous. So, if it really was all of that, then I would like him to move up. But, if it wasn't, if he was able to do it, do it, and it wasn't as bad as it looked to us, then, I would like to see him fight, the other guys, the Lomas, the Tank, I would like to see him fight that. But if he really struggled against the weight cut, I want him to be at the best when he fights these guys, just because those guys are going to be at those guys are going to be at the best for sure, because
it's easy for them to make.
Yeah, so if if he's outgrown the weight, I think it's time to move up. We just saw Shakur. He was like, I can't make this weight. I'm not going to even try to make this weight. And he moved up. So, and he's kind of been, him, Tio, they've all kind of been at, in the weights, and Ryan, they've all been up there. We've already seen Ryan. Ryan's like, okay, at 140, but I could make 135. Tio's already moved up, and Shakur and Devin, they kind of move at the same time. It almost seems like. So we see Shakur move up to 135. So I kind of think that 135. I think it might be time to move up. Personally.
Yeah, I think that at first I was like, okay, after this Kambosos fight, cool, he stays one more time at 135 to fight Loma, perfect, and then move up,
Yeah.
But again, after seeing the weigh-in, like, damn, that it looked like it took a little toll.
Yeah, she was stuck. She could not get over that.
Damn, like, that's my boy, and I want to see him do good, So when I saw that, I was just kind of like, okay, it's time to move up after that, But like you said, it really only they could know if they're, how difficult it was to get there, what they had to do to get to that 135.
Yeah.
And, if it took a toll on Devin or not, it looked like it didn't because he looked great in the ring.
He performed well.
So that's why at first I was like, damn,
he did better in this one.
But he looked great in the ring. So it's like, I don't know. At this point, again, like you said, I think it's only them, however they feel making that weight class. I wouldn't mind seeing that Loma fight, but, if he has to go up, I'm not mad at it. Go up at 140. Make sure that you're the best that you can at your division. If Loma missed out on the fight, Loma, you should have fought Devin a long time ago. So
yeah, or, if it's that, because I still like those fights, but, at 135, maybe they could do some type of catch weight possibly. You see catch weights all the time, if it's just so that way, I would like, if he can't make it, I would like to see that just so it's kind of more on an even playing field for these, because these are huge fights, huge money fights.
Yes, just so many people you compare, like the 135 division with the 140 with the 130. It's just so much good mixture you could do there.
Yeah, so all right, so why don't you give me who you want to see at 135, and then I'll choose someone at 140.
Well, I want to see Loma and him.
You rather see Loma and him over Tank? Loma's obviously easier to make because they're both top ranked.
I just think that I want to see, I wouldn't mind seeing, if they've had the conversation already with Loma and Devin, and the whole conversation with Tank and Ryan is kind of ribbling. So, okay, I would like to see Ryan and Tank fight it off. Cool. Mm-hmm. Let Loma and Devin get that fight. And I think that's a more doable fight. And I think it just needs to happen. We know the history there. Yeah. And, just get it done and move up to 140, because I think Tank can make 140 a lot easier than Loma could. Mm-hmm. So I think, if he's going to stay at 135, get the fight with the person that, there's history with, and we want to see that fight already, but that it possibly cannot happen at 140. And again, I don't think that Loma would do 140, and I think there's a possibility that Tank.
Loma's too small to do 140.
Yeah, Tank's done 140 before, so it makes more sense.
Yeah, so that one's still there. Personally, I would like to see him fight Tank just for the simple fact of we've seen Lomachenko beat by a couple people already. We've seen him, he just lost to Tio. We saw him lose to the journeyman in his career. We've already seen him beaten. I want to see him against Tank, who is unbeaten. They both have similar fan bases. It'd be a huge fight. I would like to see it in Atlanta. I think that would be good. They're both athletic. Like I said, unbeaten. You got the Southpaw versus the Orthodox. I think it'd just be an explosive fight. They've been going back and forth. They both have that connection with Floyd Mayweather. Devin growing up in the Mayweather gym, being coached by Senior. We know with Tank, that's Mayweather's number one guy. And so I would like to see that fight, and I think that is a more competitive fight. So I would like to see Tank and Devin personally before, but I do understand the Loma one. Because I know that Devin might look at it like, look, they got Loma in the pound for pound. I don't think Loma should be in pound for pound, but they do have Loma in pound for pound. So and they're both on top rank. So I would understand that fight. at 140, at 135. ESPN got a lot of fighters at 140 too, and there's a lot of matches up there I would like to see him fight.
There's a lot.
That fight that everyone's been asking for, even at 135, is him and Teal.
Oh yeah.
Is Devin and Teal at 140.
Oh well, shit, he goes up to 140. Right there.
Yeah, and to kind of just rattle off some of the 140. They got Jose Ramirez up there. That's another good. That'd be another good fight. You got Regis Prograis. You also got Josh Taylor if he stays in the division. And so I would like to see him in those 140s also. And there's and it's funny because a lot of people talk about Devin Haney and he doesn't have the power. But there's been like his sparring partners that have come out and said like, Devin's actually, he's pretty big, and they actually think that he's gonna have more power as he moves up. So that got me excited to see him at 140 pounds too. Yeah,
it's a matter of time before he goes up to 140. I feel like he got one more fight at 135 with Haney, and before he moves up to 140. Yeah. But any of the fights that are in talk are gonna be fun to watch. Like I said, I just think that the only shot, if he has one more fight at 135, is with Loma.
Yeah, they've already talked about it.
And then, the rest to come after that. Mm-hmm. And I just hope that all these fighters just really, make these fight happen. Come on, man.
Yeah, definitely. Especially after this weekend, seeing all the ladies get down.
Yes, they fighting the best. Where you guys at? Shit, we want to see them fights between y'all too,
but we will say this. I'm going to say this. The big fights that aren't being made in men's, Devin Haney is not going to take any responsibility for that, because he's already proven that he'll do whatever it takes to make these big fights. He went over there and signed a shitty deal to go get those belts from Kambosos, to go over there and sign up to do it twice. And was willing to fight without his dad, because his dad couldn't even go. And that just shows like he's doing any and everything, taking less money. He's done whatever it took to make the big fights. Yeah. But he just needs his opponents on the other side to do the exact same thing, and we'll get these fights. Yeah. But yeah. So as you can tell, we just can't wait to see we what's next for him, and we support Devin Haney all day,
every day.
But we just can't wait to see what's next for him. But that's all we got. So thanks for tuning in, y'all.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And also, let us know below who you guys want to see Devin Haney fight back. But don't forget to talk your shit. And